Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm making another card using the fuzzy hugs from Mama Elephant. So as usual, I am starting with stamping out my images. So therefore I'm using River Rock from Fawn. It's a premium ink where you can color with Copic markers or with your zigs. It's totally fine for both mediums, and I decided to go with my Copic. So this is on some Neenah 110 solar white, and I am putting my caps on the side so you can see which color combinations I am using. I will be back after the coloring to tell you what I did next. So I cut out my images using my Scan and Cut from Brother, and then I die cut a basic rectangle panel from, in this case, Strathmore Bristol Smooth. I thought that I was die cutting Neenah, but it worked out fine. So this is Strathmore Bristol Smooth. I would suggest to use Neenah or something else because I'm going to use some more Copics onto this panel, but it worked out, so I'm fine with it. So I am taking this window from the basic circles from Mama Elephant, and I am die cutting it out of this rectangle because I want these penguins to be next to the window, which is looking outside. So next up I decided to create some ground for the penguins to stand on, and therefore I'm using my Copic markers. So for this part it would have been better on Neenah or some other papers that are good for Copics. So now onto my sky that is going to be behind the window. I wanted it to be a night scene, so therefore I'm using black Soot and chipped Sapphire. There's Oxide ink, and I'm just blending it roughly on a piece of Neenah that was left over. So I'm making sure that both colors are used, and I'm blending them into each other. So next up I decided to spritz it with my distress sprayer, and I brought it dry with a paper towel. And then I decided to heat set it a bit because I wanted to do some heat embossing as well. So therefore I needed to make it dry and anti-static. So because it is winter and stuff like that, I decided to use some snowflakes. So therefore you can see here I'm using the Frosty Flurries from Sunny Studio. I got it from a friend. So I decided to use it for the first time, and I'm so happy that I did it. So I'm laying it out and trying to get as much of the snow flurries on top of this panel, and I'm stamping it out with Versamark clear embossing ink. And I decided to use a Nuvo embossing powder Glacier white to melt on top of it. After heat setting this stamp, I decided to check whether it was covering the whole window, and it didn't, so I decided to stamp the image of the snow flurries once more next towards it, and I heat set it again. Now it fits behind the window perfectly, so I decided that I wanted to lift this a bit up. So I took my Darice foam strips and I adhered it behind the window frame, and it actually fits perfectly, so I was really happy with that. There was not that much of fiddling, so that was really handy. Um, and after adhering this sky behind my window, I decided to adhere it onto a card base. So therefore I took some more Darice strips because I wanted to be not bulky or anything like that. So by using the same adhesive, I was sure that it would be at the same height everywhere. So I added some Darice foam strips, and I also used the long Fawn glue tube behind the panel of the sky, and then I adhered it onto an American card base. So next up, I adhered my penguins using again the long Fawn glue tube, and then I decided to add some details onto these lovely images, and therefore I took my Stickles diamond to add onto the head of that one penguin on the left, and then I also took my Ranger Glossy accents to give some shimmer onto my heart. And that finishes off my card. I really hope that you like this card design. I think these images are so darn cute from Mama Elephant. And hopefully I will see you next time. Bye!